English shorthand higher grade 120 words per minute. Tamil Nadu speed papers. October 1959. Paper 1. Please get ready. Start. Members of Parliament. I am addressing you today after a full year, the year which has witnessed significant happenings in the world and considerable developments in our own country. We are meeting at a time when general elections are being held all over the country and new parliament is coming into being as a result of these elections. This is the last occasion when I am addressing this parliament. Some of you will come back to represent your constituencies in the new parliament and some of you may not return. But I have no doubt that wherever your field of work may be, it will be dedicated to the great task of building up this country of ours. I wish you success and good fortune in your field of activity. Since I addressed you last, the world has seen a period of high tensions, particularly in the Middle East, and of conflict ending in the invasion of Egypt, the intervention of the United Nations, and the impact of world opinion resulted in the withdrawal of the invading armies from Egypt. But the conflict has not only done great damage to Egypt but has added to the tensions which were showing signs of relaxation and has left in its wake many problems to be resolved. Our country, which is deeply involved both on account of her concern for world peace and cooperation and her own interests, has sought to assist in resolving these difficulties. India has accepted greater burdens, including participation in the United Nations Emergency Force constituted by the decisions of the General Assembly of the United Nations, which called for the withdrawal of the invading forces. In Central Europe, the events in Hungary have disturbed us greatly. My Prime Minister visited the United States. The visit and the talks between the President of the United States and my Prime Minister have assisted in the promotion of understanding between our two countries and greater appreciation of each other's point of view. My government regret that no progress has been made in regard to the solution of the problem of apartheid and discrimination against Africans and people of Indian origin in South Africa. This problem once again received the consideration of the United Nations at the instance of my government. Goa still continues to be an unhappy colonial outpost of the Portuguese government, where every kind of liberty is suppressed and economic stagnation prevails. It is the firm policy of my government that Goa should become free from colonial domination and should share in the freedom of rest of India. The world as a whole, which was beginning to show some signs of improvement, gives us cause for less optimism at present. Our own country, however, continues to have friendly relations with all countries, but the deterioration in the world situation has adverse results on the development of peaceful relations and cooperation and economic development in our part of the world also. The major problem before the country is that of conserving and increasing its foreign exchange resources. For a country which starts with insufficient facilities for producing machinery and equipment, a plan of industrialization necessarily involves heavy foreign exchange expenditures, since it is difficult in the short run to enlarge foreign exchange earning substantially. Developing economies require an inflow of external resources in the initial stages. It is, however, incumbent on the country concerned to earn maximum foreign exchange it can and to exercise the utmost economy in the matter of imports. The second plan gives high priority to industrialization. This in turn requires a substantial increase in the production of basic necessities like food and cloth and of raw materials required for the developing industries. The plan calls for more an investment, and one of its principal aims is to enlarge employment opportunities. New incomes created by investment and employment are mostly spent on food and cloth, and it is really only if their supplies can be increased rapidly that the plan can go forward without creating an inflationary situation. An increase in agricultural production thus constitutes the pivot of developmental effort, and for this we need the fullest cooperation of every section of the community. 5 years ago, this parliament came into existence representing the vast electorate of this great country, and it has labored for the well-being and advancement of India and for peace and cooperation in the world. These labors have produced substantial results which we see all round in the country, and I wish to offer you my congratulations on the great tasks that have been accomplished, but there is no resting place for us, and the great story of the building up a new prosperous India will continue to unfold itself, bringing happiness to all our people and serving the cause of world peace and cooperation. I trust that the message of the Buddha will ever guide us. The editor, The Mail, Madras. Sir, I wish to draw attention through your columns to the need for increasing the transport facilities in our state in general and in the rural parts in particular. I am taking this step by force of circumstances, and it would go a long way in easing travel difficulties if serious thought could be given to this problem. With the growing development activities in the country and with increased attention being given to rural economy, movement of the population, particularly in rural areas, has become very necessary, and frequency of travel has also gone up. In recent times, the villager has become conscious of his rights and duties and has to be moving about if he is to take full advantage of the many facilities that the government and other public bodies offer him. Further, on account of the rise in the price of food grains and other agricultural products, the riot has a little more money to spare for travel. Movement of student population from villages to the urban areas for higher education has become a common feature, and it is a familiar sight to see bunches of students going to educational institutions even from interior rural parts. Travel facilities have therefore to be provided having regard to the above growing needs. Increase of train services wherever possible, introduction of concession for travel particularly for the student population, and addition to the fleet of buses are all measures which have to be immediately taken to satisfy travel needs. Once this is done, a constant watch has to be kept to see whether any fresh difficulties crop up, and they have to be remedied then and there. If these steps are taken, there is no doubt that the rural population would feel highly thankful. Any delay in effecting improvements to the present condition would only worsen the position and place the rural people under a great disability. On the other hand, if the measures suggested are implemented, rural population will take full advantage of them and will evince greater interest in the Grow More Food and other programs drawn up by the authorities. Yours faithfully, Ramachandran.